Taking a page from the infogrames Alone in the Dark, I decided to do another mansion horror game, except this one turns that Lovecraftian mystery on its head. Splatterhouse is set in a mansion, yes, but instead of puzzle solving, you beat everything to death in hopes of survival. Splatterhouse is a beat-em-up released by Namco in 1988, and it too spawned an entire series of games that were released for various consoles like the TurboGrafx-16, Sega Genesis, and soon to be the 360 and PlayStation 3. If anything, horror games have staying power, and they have life. And in this case, in Splatterhouse, it is up to you as a player to snuff that life out of everything you see. The original game has the following story. Beginning with two university students, Rick and Jennifer, they take refuge from a storm in the West Mansion, a local landmark known as Splatterhouse, for the rumors of hideous experiments conducted there by Dr. West, a renowned and now missing parapsychologist. At the mansion, the two are attacked by demonic creatures that drag Jennifer into the house and finally wound Rick, leaving him for dead. You play the game as Rick, who awakens to find himself alive, all thanks to the fabled Terror Mask, a haunted artifact from that house. The mask attaches itself to Rick and fuses to his body, resulting in the transformation to a monster with superhuman strength. Rick's mind is also taken over by the mask as it prods him to go on a rampage throughout the dungeon, grounds of the house, and floors of the mansion, killing hordes of monsters in his path in hopes of finding Jennifer. The gameplay works very much in the style of a side-scrolling beat-em-up, in that you can punch and kick, use a special attack. You can also jump and do a drop kick that sends you skidding along the ground, and you can perform low kicks, low punches, and jumping attacks. So there's a lot of variety there. Rather than the more typical play style of Final Fight or Streets of Rage, you can't actually move up and down into the plane of the game, but you can side-scroll left and right. But this allows you to push up or down on the joystick to perform additional low punch or kick attacks, or high punch or high kick attacks. All of the levels consist of walking left to right. However, there's alternate pathways through sections of the house that are accessible by falling through holes or jumping up onto ladders. In this way, branching gameplay is possible, if only prevalent in the middle levels. Levels culminate in boss fights that take place in a single room, and unlike traditional side-scrolling fighters, boss fights have varying objectives and styles. The mini cutscenes in between each level help to provide a sense of urgency to rescue Jennifer, and this is common throughout each Splatterhouse game, replacing Jennifer with a generic loved one who happens to be female. For the most part, each Splatterhouse game plays almost the same, with a change in story, graphical updates, and new monsters to beat the snot out of. The major difference is that in Splatterhouse 3, it adds that third plane that allows you to move up and down on the screen. This opens up the combat a bit and gives you more room to dodge, and makes it slightly more varied, which is nice, but smacking around demons is always the same, and it never gets old. So, why is Splatterhouse on the list? For being an older game, Splatterhouse looks great. The amount of detail put into the monsters is frightening, especially the bosses. The game is fun, and it feels good to tear down monsters apart with your feet and hands doing all the work. Even though you feel less vulnerable in this game because you're a monster yourself, Splatterhouse still manages to make you feel alone and longing to find that special someone at the end of the game, who is conveniently behind a door on the roof of the mansion filled with 6 floors of demons. If you want a horror game with balls, then Splatterhouse is right up your alley. But don't say I didn't warn you.